Level 13, we are almost to the end, believe it or not. Sorry you need to work a little bit more on this one, but hey, sometimes it's helpful to talk through the questions that we're really struggling with. And I get it that, I get that weighted averages can be difficult, all right? Now, hopefully you're recognizing that the grades thing, we've done a lot of grades things, and this is a weighted average, okay? So we're going to go ahead and create a table here. Now, the definite thing that you should have in the table is the categories. I mean, the columns. Sorry, they both start with C. You know what I'm talking about. All right, so the first column is your labels, okay? And so we'll get that in just a minute. The second one is the weight, and then the value, and then your weighted value, right? So that you can do before anything else, is that you recognize that. And it doesn't matter if it's grades, if it's a mixture of things, if it's any of these weighted average things where you want some values to be more important than others, like tests more important than homework, or, the Spanish peanuts are better than the I don't know what other kind of peanuts there are. Whatever other kind of peanuts there are, the other one's better than the other. You can always use a weighted average to make one be more weighted, to be worth more. All right. Now here it looks like a student has a 67 for the semester, including all projects and assessments, and she wants a total of 70. All right. And then we've got an exam that's going to be added in here. So it looks like we have the regular semester work, and then we've got a semester exam, and then we have the total score, which is the final score there. All right. Now, if we start to put in some numbers, it says they got a 67 for the semester. So that's the value of the semester work, is 67. Then it says she's hoping to get a C minus. So she wants her total score to be a 70. Now that 70 could technically go here in the value. I'm going to put it in the weighted value because that's what she wants it to be after you properly weight each of your scores. She wants that total final weighted average to be 70. All right. The semester exam is 15%, so semester exam is 0.15, and therefore everything else has to add up to 100%, so this has to be 85. And the question is, what grade does she need on the semester exam? So X equals grade on the semester exam. And so that's our X. The value is the grade there, right? The 67 was the value of the semester, which was 67 points. That was her grade. And so X is going to be the semester exam. Now, from here, you should be able to work through and set up an equation. Remember, the weighted value is always the weight times the value. So that's 0.85 times 67. And then here it's going to be 0.15 times X. And then we set up our equation by adding these together. All of the pieces you add together. If there's 3 pieces, 4 pieces, add them all together. And then they need to equal the final value there. So my final equation should be 0.85 times 67 plus 0.15x equals 70. And so from there, we should be able to calculate everything. We're going to go ahead and multiply the 0.85 times the 67 because those are both in the same term. There's no reason to keep them apart. So 56.95 plus 0.15x equals 70. And you should recognize that as being a straight up 2-step question. So I'm going to take the 56.95. I'll subtract that from both sides. And so they cancel out, giving me with 0.15x equals 13.05. And then I do need to get rid of that 0.15 as well. So I'm going to divide both sides by 0.15. And we get our final answer that that final grade needs to equal 87 on the final exam. So there you go. We know what the final grade is on the semester exam, an 87. Now, what I want you to see is that the purpose of the chart here allows us to weight each of those values. It says, well, this is more important, so give it a weight of 0.85. This one is less important, so we're going to give it a weight of 0.15. And as you've seen in different questions, the weight can be a variety of different things. It could be the cost, right? If the cost of one thing is more valuable than the other, then you want that to weight your final cost a little bit more, right? It could be, it doesn't have to add up to 1. We've seen that. With percents, of course, it's always going to add up to 100%. But, there are ways to work around it without having to deal with percents and just say, well, I want this to be worth twice as much, right? Then I could make the semester work worth 2 and the semester exam worth 1. And so you could come up with some way of weighting it in such a way, and you do then need to divide by the weight in the end, all right? But in this case, that's not necessary. All right, we'll see one of those in the next question. Good luck as you go on to review this and then do level 14.